Classic Ferrari Cup, Event 1, Round 1, Snowy Sunset in Paris. Hello there everybody and welcome to Opafet Gaming. I am the Opafet. Today we are driving a Ferrari 512 BBLM in a Classic Ferrari Cup event. We're driving in our semi-pro specials part of the season. And we're driving in Paris, France on the Arc de Triomphe track. We're driving at sunset in a little bit of snow. We started 11th of 22. Now don't kid yourself just because you see a little bit of snow on the sides of the road or track, if you want to call it that, doesn't mean it's not slippery in the middle too, because I tell you, it really changes the way you drive. So you have to be careful. Now these 3 laps are going to take a little bit of time to do, and we have quickly powered ourselves into 6th place, which you have to do because these cars in the front are they're hard to pass, they're very fast, and it just makes for an awesome race. So as we're ripping along here now, we've only got 4 cars left in front of us, and I do have to remind everybody that we are driving in Grid Legends. And as you all know, in Grid Legends, almost anything can happen. Cars can flip, cars can lose parts of their car, like a door or a hood, and they can run into the wall. But the worst part of all is when they do these things, sometimes they take out 1 or 2 or more cars behind them. Sometimes they take out nobody. You know, those are the good days. But when they take out a car or 2 behind them, just try and make sure you're not one of them. So anyhow, having said that, the best we can do is keep ripping here and try and catch up to the next guy, which is very hard to do. And when you do finally catch up to him, which is usually by the corners, because they really like to slow down at the corners. But when you do finally catch up to them, you have to slow down for the corners too. And then when you turn the corner around, they zip away on you so quick that you just can't get by them. So, and then on the straights, you have to spend your time trying to catch up to them again, and then try to get by them on the corners. Well, it doesn't always work, but we are not going to stop trying because we want to be in first place, because the Opafet likes to win the race as much as the next guy. Now we've already started our 2nd lap, and we still got 3 cars to pass. So, like I said, now here's a straight enough stretch that we were lucky enough we were able to catch that guy. But we're not going to get another one, and now, you know, we're going to have to stick behind him because it's just too hard to pass him. And there's no point in trying to pass and hitting the wall or hitting one of the cars that you're trying to pass. No point in that. I don't see the fun part in that. Some people enjoy it, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Whoa, this guy blew the motor. See, the Opafet just likes to wait until they do things like that. Then you don't have to pass them. This particular corner there that we just went through is awful. Every time you come around that corner, I always end up overshooting it. Luckily, I didn't that time. Now, as we're going to follow this guy for a little bit longer, because I don't really care for leading the pack. I like to be the chase car and let the guy in front of me set the pace. However, sometimes that doesn't work out so well, because sometimes the cars behind you start catching up because the pace car, or the car in front of you, is going too slow. Oh, or he wipes. See, that's what I'm talking about. When they spin out like that, if I would have been on the left side of the track, he would have taken me out. I would not have been able to get around him in time. So these are the things that you got to watch out for in Grid Legends. I don't see them too often in other games, but in Grid Legends it happens, and it actually adds a dimension of mystery to each race as you're going. Anyhow, now that I'm in front, later on we're going to see a classical example of why the Opafet doesn't want to lead, because I'm never quite sure on how hard to push to stay ahead. Now you can use the buffer seconds on your top left hand side. You can see where we've got a just over 2 second buffer on the next car. You can keep an eye on that, but I mean, sooner or later you're gonna have to look back at the track, right? And see, now that buffer is under a second, just over half. So obviously we're not going fast enough. So then I have to start pushing it harder. And then I don't pay attention to how hard I'm pushing it, and then sometimes I get a little bit chaotic and run into the walls, or can't run into another car because there isn't any beside me. So we're just gonna have to try and be a little bit patient in future races that we don't do that. Now, our buffer zone keeps going up and down, meaning that the cars are behind me sometimes get a little bit closer, sometimes a little bit further away, but we are already in our third lap, and I do believe we're about halfway through. So the lap is quickly evaporating, but we're not there yet. And you know, we got like here again, we got an over 2-second lead now, and you would think that when you get to that point you would keep it going at that same speed, but I don't seem to be able to do that. This is one thing I've been working on and practicing, trying to drive a cleaner race, especially when you're in front, because I find the cleaner the race, the more fun I have. And if I start running into things, I just don't enjoy that. You know, this is just not my style or my kind of game. So as we're coming around the corner here, we are almost at the end of the lap, and we are now 3.5 seconds ahead. So you would think that you could ease up just a little bit, 4.5 seconds. You don't have to be that far ahead. Ooh, and then there we start to lose a little bit of control, and there we smash into the wall. And that's what I'm talking about. Opafet's got to learn to slow down a little bit. Anyhow, I really enjoyed this race nevertheless. I hope you got some pointers out of it. Until the next time you've been racing, it's been a fun one. I really enjoyed this one. You've been racing with the Opafet.